universe is filled with secrets and mysteries. Many questions to be answered. We find ourselves searching for those answers at the very fabric of science and society. And for the very first time, these worlds collide.
On my mark. Here we go.
This is Knowledge Talk.
Topics that contribute knowledge to the society. News, interviews with guests.
The show that said it all with your host, Tariq Al-Barwani. Tuesdays at 5 p.m. Face it and talk it through on Knowledge Talk.
Check it out.
Every week here on the Nation Station Radio, Sultan of Oman, 90.4 FM.
Assalamu alaikum, good afternoon, and welcome to Knowledge Talks, a weekly edutainment and knowledge sharing program aired live specifically to share with you topics that contribute knowledge to the society. Every week, Knowledge Talks hosts and invites guests that are experts, professionals, and leaders from the field that bring wealth of knowledge to you. Knowledge Talks also highlights and promotes talents in the country that contribute knowledge and success to the nation, ladies and gentlemen. This program is a weekly session that I will have with you every Tuesday at 5 p.m. I'm your host, Tariq Al-Barwani, along with our studio engineer, DJ Muhammad, for an hour bringing you free knowledge at your doorsteps on Oman Radio FM 90.4. Okay, stay tuned for today's interesting knowledge topic with an interesting personality just after the music break.
Touch a woman. Feel her strength. Linger a little into her soul. Swim into her beauty. You'll be in the water. That's when you'll taste the aroma of her. It's the smell of ocean, the water of who she is. Still, you'll find there's a pearl of you hidden so deep in the womb of her ocean, within precious line of her soul. And if you don't understand all these poetic words, touch a woman's soul. Only then you'll comprehend the deep meaning of my words. When you touch a woman, gaze a little into her pain. That's only when you'll know why she is a woman. You'll see her fragile shoulders are just carrying endless weight. Heavy cloud she might be, carrying shower of tears, but it's not gray clouds that you'll see. She's all sunshine smiles. So when you touch a woman.
Nasra Al Adawi, ladies and gentlemen, a notable poet whose work is rooted in humanitarian and charitable concern, MashaAllah. What would it take to write a poem and become a publisher, ladies and gentlemen? Well, my guest today will share all that it takes for you to know about it, what it takes to become a poet, and also how to publish a book yourself. That is my guest today, ladies and gentlemen, Nasra Al Adawi, as I said, a notable poet whose work is rooted in humanitarian and charitable concerns, MashaAllah. Nasra has published is a published author of her books. Proceeds goes to support spreading awareness on cancer. Her writing is not limited to poetry. She has written a number of winning articles as well, mashallah. Nasra has written a number of articles that have been published in Al-Mar'a magazine, a leading women's magazine here in Oman, and on society-based issues with Oman Observer. Recently, she has received a certificate of appreciation from Al-Mar'a Award of her excellence work, mashallah, in poetry. Nasra is also a partner with Tawasul Global Connection Center, a social enterprise, and is in charge to foresee business expansion side. Nasra has over 20 years of professional experience, mainly working with small businesses. Nasra is a single mother of 2 children and enjoys beach walks with her kids, as well as is a student pursuing her bachelor degree in business studies. Today, Nasra joins us here to share her journey into the world of writing and publishing winning poems. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Nasra, how are you doing today?
Assalamu alaikum, Tariq. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
Well, the excited is not with me only, but with everyone who is here with us. In fact, DJ Muhammad, when he saw you, he was very, very happy as well. And I was telling me, Tariq, mashallah, you've got an interesting guest today. Let me tell you one thing, Nasra. There is a noor coming out from your face. Do you know that?
No.
When you were walking by, when I just came and collected you from the gate, as we were walking by here, I can see noor that comes out of you, mashallah.
It's not makeup?
No. It's noor that comes from you. And you know why? It's because of the great work that you do. Nasra, I just don't know you today from this station. I know from your work from long time before on your great poets that you do. In fact, I can call you're a king of poetry in Oman here, mashallah.
Well, I'm not king of
You're being humble.
But I'm learning. Every day is a learning for me.
Every day is a new day.
I think one of the exciting thing is to meet different people, and it allows you to get inspired.
Mashallah.
You learn from them, and they become the stories and inspiration of your poems.
Mashallah, mashallah, mashallah. And that itself is very big, and that speaks by itself, mashallah. Nasra, I know about you. You've published great books as well. I've shared a bit about you at the beginning of the program. Obviously, if I were to share about you a lot, then I'll need to write a book. You know, so for now, could you kindly share with us brief with the audience about your profile? So your background and how did it all start?
Writing has actually started from when I was a child.
Mashallah. What age?
I can't remember, but it's more like 10 maybe. One of the instances that allowed me to write is having a cousin who was having a special needs or disabled.
Okay.
And I used to want to write about her. I wanted to be also working to help her to have a better life.
Okay.
So one of my first poems, it was about Down syndrome and how to be, how to overcome disabilities and all that. And so it was in my own perspective. I wanted to do something, but I didn't know what to do, and writing was the gateway for me to actually reach out, and especially for myself, because anger, happiness, it always become a voice that comes out within poetry.
Okay.
So we call it meditation, poetry meditation, when you allow yourself to heal and to understand others through writing.
Mashallah, mashallah. Just received a message right now. Someone was asking me, so in fact they love the poem that you shared at the beginning of the show today, and they would like you to describe how did you go about writing that poem, and in a few words, if you talk about the poem. You have a title for the poem?
Yeah, the poem is called Touch a Woman.
Okay.
And it's actually being powerful. Sometimes, every person, particularly me, I felt personally I went on somehow I felt on a peak somewhere. And I had a lot of successes in one time of my life. And then suddenly I was feeling that I was falling. And so the journey of climbing and going down up in hills, and how do you actually overcome yourself, and the power that you give yourself. So when you feel low as a woman and people put you down, so if you touch a woman, you feel like yourself, you are a rock. So touch a woman and you feel great about it.
Mashallah, mashallah. I respect that fully, and I like how you put your feelings into the poetry. And that itself is very, very nice. How many poems have you written so far?
I don't know how many poems, but I think...
asking me, Tariq? Could be thousands.
Actually, more than 1,000. I've
Mashallah. Since your child, you mean, right?
Yes, I have a blog which has lots of my poems, but now I've moved on in Instagram, so I do poetry Instagram.
Okay.
But I used to write a lot through blog.
Okay.
And it's a process. Nowadays I'm limited in terms of writing, but I take an opportunity every time when I get inspired to note down my writing. Not as much as I wanted before. I used to write before more.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think it's a notable skill that you have, and something that many people would love to have, and maybe there's something that you should never leave it. I think. I mean, it's a good skill that you have.
Yes.
Mashallah. You should probably nurture it as well.
I agree with you. I have lots of incidents to mention or example. I mean, for people who have talent, I believe that it's an opportunity. For example, for me, I didn't know how to write articles. So through poetry, it allowed me to have an opportunity to write articles later on. Through poetry, I actually did a catwalk show, reading a poem. Through poetry, it allowed me to visit places which I didn't know that I would ever visit. Through poetry, it allowed me to conquer my fear and to become a public speaker.
Mashallah.
So I think when you have a talent, it would open up different doors, and you need to know which are the ways that you would allow yourself to go through those doors.
Okay, mashallah. Started from a childhood and continued working on your poetry until you published a book, which I'm gonna come to that. Tell us about your blog.
Well, my blog is not so active now, but my blog allowed me to have a website, back in 2000 or 1990s.
Oh, when the internet was just picking up.
Yes.
Yeah.
You get so excited about wanting to have an existence or an exposure, and you don't know what to do, and you cannot afford it sometimes for people who are young. So blogging was the channel that we used it back then to allow us to
Share your thoughts and communicate
to others, and also to meet up other poets, because through blogging I met wonderful poets who later on they also supported me in terms of publishing, editing my book, as well as giving me some direction of what to write, and so on. And also it kept me in touch with others. It allowed me to interact with people, to know what they think. I recently have actually found out that there was a person who has been following my blog for years, and I just had a chance to meet them recently.
Mashallah,
so
mashallah.
This is an interesting phenomenon. When you write a blog, it allows you to understand what are the other people's point of view,
and share it to thousands or even millions of people, because once you are on the internet, then it's open world. Every people get to see about it. What is the first thing, let's go a step back, is your poems are still available on the site, on the blog, right?
Yes.
What is the link to your poem?
www.iamnasra.blogspot.com.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. That is the link to Nasra's poem, where you will find all her great poetry, ladies and gentlemen, that has led her today to even publishing her own book, and of course making a brand for herself. Let us take a quick break, ladies and gentlemen, and return back with an exciting discussion today with Nasra.
You're listening to Radio Sultanate of Oman on your favorite radio station, 90.4 FM.
Welcome back to Knowledge Talks, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host Tariq Hilal Al-Barwani, along with our studio engineer DJ Muhammad, with you here live today on Oman Radio FM 90.4. Exciting discussion and interview today with an interesting guest, Nasra Al Adawi, who is, I would say, king of poetry, where she's done a lot of poetries here in Oman and has also established a great name for herself. She has her own blog, which has also made a great rounds during the 90s until it led till the 2000s, the year 2000s, and then she moved on to write her own poetries on Instagram as well. Nasra, I think it will be nice for us, before we continue our questions, for you to share another poem. You've got exciting or interesting poems you have today.
Okay. If you know how much I missed you, would you allow me to write you? I feel that I'm a pot so empty, in airy thoughts that fills it. If I could scribble you in happiness, then gloss hope like a painter. Words to float in colors, and on your empty space the darkness are sparkled. In countless glittering stars I was calling on you through my emptiness, not to fill the void but to carry me within its surface. So I accept all the layers on whatever life is gifting. In this understanding to raise beyond all, now you know how much I missed you and all the phases that I've been waiting for you. Just be my poetry. Allow me to write you.
Awesome, Nasra. Tell us about the poem. What is the, usually poems have a title, right?
Yes.
Or a sub. Okay, what is it, and how do you come about writing this poem? The history about it.
This poem is actually joyful compared to the other one, and it's called Be My Poetry. So it's all about happiness, it's about romance, it's about love, it's about being in passion. And when you are dreaming about the one or your wife or your husband, and you think you want them to feel special, so you want them to be your poetry.
MashaAllah, I like that. I mean, I like how people put their feelings or thoughts into poetry, and you put it in style. I mean, that's what you've been doing it. Now, was this something that you have learned from someone in the family, or from a friend, or from a relative? How did it come about, the you and poetry, all those this?
Actually, my family, I have my other sister who used to write, whose younger sister who used to write back in UAE. My uncle actually also used to translate Quran back in Zanzibar. Okay. So I don't know if I got it from him, but he used to also write verses, but not really poem. I think I'm the crazy one who just thought I would write poems. But
they say most of the crazy ones were the ones who do a lot of remarkable things in this world.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you don't look any crazy. That's what you feel, that you're crazy, but you don't look any crazy. MashaAllah. As I said, you've got nur in you. As we were walking in the gate, that's what I see, because of the social activities that you do, MashaAllah, which we will touch upon at the program today. Now, tell me one thing. How can someone write a poem, and what does it take to write one?
That's a good question. When you want to write a poem, is actually you have to touch base with yourself. Start listening to your kind of soul. Start listening to what your inner mind tells you, and allow you to discover the words through its voice. So, for example, if you are angry about yourself, so now you allow yourself to talk about that anger and say, for example, is it you who have been hurting me? How come? Allow me to forgive you for the hurtiness, for hurting me again. Allow me to forgive you, and allow me to start a new page. So this is an example of on pronto writing, and you allow yourself to allow the words to come in without thinking of them. And then once you write them, you allow them to come out in the spur of the moment. Then, you recite them again and you read them to yourself. And then that's when you would hear the music. That's when you hear the rhythm. And then you could go back and forth and revise or re-edit it. So then the rhythm would show much higher in terms of poetry.
MashaAllah. Now, do you... Let me just get it right. Let's say if you are in kind of if you're angry, or
can I tell you something? Can you give me any word now?
Any word?
Any word.
Happy.
Happy. Life is happy moment, and you are the happiness for my moment. Allow me to live within you through the happiness. Allow me to survive it and see it through your eyes. Allow me to walk through your journey of happiness and let me be happy as yourself.
Wow, you are seriously a queen of poetry, mashallah. Can I try another word?
Yeah.
Lovely.
Lovely. Can you tell me how lovely I am? Can you describe me and see the beauty of me? Can you see the light that allows me to rock between myself? Can you show me how lovely means without my soul? Can you go deeper and touch the soul in loveliness?
You are amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, the number to call in is 24602058. That is 24602058. You pick any word and I promise you Nasra will get it right. Why am I saying that? Because mashallah, she's doing it live. She's doing it while I'm just sitting here. You told me you pick word. I picked two and she got it all well. She is definitely a queen of poetry, mashallah. Now tell me one thing. How can you differentiate between a good and a bad poem?
It's very difficult for me because I'm not taught poet, but for me I use a lot of hearing. I hear the words, I hear the music. So every poem, it has to have some kind of rhythm. It does not need to be rhythmic at the end, the rhyme, but it has to be it has to have a rhythm that allows you to feel it. As well, the emotion that you could touch those emotion and see the vision within those words.
Okay.
So that's how I would describe a beautiful poem.
Okay, you should, mashallah, open up a school for poems and teach more people to write poems, Nasra.
Well, I need to learn it actually, because it's very difficult when you are kind of not taught poet.
Yeah.
You don't know the kind of the principles.
Okay.
But you know it by nature, naturally. You could use your ears a lot to feel it, and you allow your emotion to sense whatever it is there in the poem.
Okay. Would you say experience is what shaped you? Because, I mean, you just don't pick a word. That was big confidence, by the way. And I picked two words and you straight away started saying them. Very, very nice.
Yes.
I mean, this is with an experience, or have you wrote the words that were coming out of your mouth?
No.
The valuable, the goldy words that were coming out of your words?
No, actually it was natural. You saw me. That
I pick another word?
Yeah, you
can.
ready?
Yeah. Lonely.
Lonely. How can you leave me so lonely? How can you allow me to have tears? How can you describe me that I'm here alone without myself? How could you be so far away and let go of me? How could you not intimidate me and allow me to come near you? Allow me to hear your voice. Allow me to feel your closeness as well. Be there within your soul. Touch your moon. Touch the sky within your eyes. And allow me to get closer to you. But how come you made me so far away from you? How come you left me with this loneliness? How come you allowed me to drown in my own tears, so lonely?
Man, that's awesome. This is a skill, my dear. I mean, that's why I say, well, that's what we do at Knowledge Talks. We get people who are talented here in the country and let the whole world knows about you. Are an example of a fantastic. I love that, man. That's awesome. Now the DJ Muhammad has a word. He also wants to try as well. DJ Muhammad, what word is it? Rose. DJ Muhammad says rose.
So you are the rose that soft, that touch the heart, petals that falls but tied together, petals that allows you to breathe within the aroma of a rose, petals that stays stronger and stronger because a rose needs to stay within the petals so strong, and a rose that has a thorn that could hurt but in a pinch so lovingly.
Lovingly, lovely. You are lovely. Amazingly. You get DJ Muhammad. He's very happy. He's very smiley. Let us take a quick break, ladies and gentlemen. We come back with an exciting poetry day today with Nasra Al Adawi. Nasra, you are amazing. I mean, just give you a word and you start rhyming it up and then creating your own exciting poetry with it. And that's amazing. And then I asked you, of course, not during the music break, whether you have memorized them or you write them someplace and you just speak it. I mean, you just say them and that's
On
it, David.
pronto.
And that's mashallah.
Yeah.
Now tell you what, as I was just saying right now before the music break, now this is one of the ideas I'm thinking of working with you. Of course, if I get your permission to do it, it was something we could do for the society, for the school. We can do some competitions where we go out in the schools and have competitions for who can do the best poetry, and where you could sit down there, of course, as the chairperson, and then you have people coming out, students coming out competing, but you throw them words and see if anyone can build up to it, and whoever wins, they get an award. That's good. What you're going to do at the end of the day, you're going to build the poetry and poetry skills in Oman. And again, this goes under what you're doing, because you are natural.
Thank you.
That's amazing, mashallah. Allah yazid khair wa baraka daiman, inshallah.
Can I tell you one thing?
Tell me.
We actually, I'm part of I'm part of the organizing member of Pen Thoughts. Actually, it's Pen Thought is it's a poetry. It's basically literature, promoting talents, spoken words. This is started by Marhoom Ali Al-Mahdi, and his family took up this journey where they would promote, they're promoting guys who are, I'm sorry, not the guys, but any youth who have poetry or who has talent in terms of essay, in terms of writing a story, short story. And this competition allows the youth to use their voices, and it allows them also to showcase their writing. As well, I think your idea is really great, because I think in English it's very difficult. You need to have a lot of vocabulary. So if you allow and if you challenge the youth to come up and think quickly, it would allow them to be more creative. So I'm on it if you are on it.
Definitely I'm on it. I mean, I'm on it with any new project and creative thing that can bring back to the society positively. And you, my dear, you can play a great impact as well, because it's an inborn thing that you do. Do you do it in Arabic, by the way, as well?
No, unfortunately I don't write in Arabic.
Okay.
But I speak Arabic, because a lot of
yeah.
people think I don't write or read
You
Arabic.
speak very good Arabic. That's
Yes.
why I asked you. But you don't do the poem in Arabic.
No, I went to Arabic school. I went to government school in UAE. But I used to write. I wrote when I was young in Arabic, and then I moved into English.
I feel you can also write poetry in Arabic, by the way, because it's just, I think you could if you tried.
I need to exercise my
because I think
myself.
there is a will, there is a way, and I can
Yes.
see it in you. My eyes tell me you can do it, mashallah.
Inshallah.
You have published a book.
3 books.
Tell us about them.
I have my first book is Collective Thoughts, and this book is very dear for me. It was the proceed was going for children who are touched with cancer, supported by Dr. Umayma Al-Lemki from Sultan Qaboos University Hospital. And it was amazing, because it was the first book that we wrote, that I worked with Dr. Zakia and others in terms of spreading awareness in 2002 about cancer, particularly children who have touched cancer. But one of the amazing learning for me for this book is, first of all, you cannot do anything by yourself. If you would like to do something for society, you need to work with others. Or if you have a mission that you would like to work for the society, subhanallah sends you different people on your way in order to to actually complete your mission to support others, as well as God kind of, I don't know how do you say it, he measures you if you really would like to do that for the good of it, or is it just a show off? And he brings you, subhanallah, he gives you a lot of challenges within. For example, not getting the sponsorship, people who are not going to be cooperative, and he really tests you somehow.
True.
Is this the work that you would like to do, or the mission that you would like to do for society? Is it for real, or is it something that you would like to show off and say, I've done it?
I've done it.
Yeah. So that was a great lesson, even for me. I mean, I remember one instance that I would like to share with you. The book I wanted to have the best book. I wanted to have the best graphic design and everything. And then a suggestion came that let's have children's art within the children who are touched. And I thought that was not a good idea. And then anyways, I asked a colleague to go to the hospital to take the paintings, and it took him almost 2 weeks, and I was very upset about it. And then he came back and told me, you know, Nasra, I spent 3 days convincing the kids to actually eat, not paint, because they've gone through chemotherapy, they were very weak, the parents were trying to convince them to eat so that they could, you know, become stronger within the chemotherapy sessions. How could I basically ask them to paint? So that was a great lesson for me. It was not about having the book. It is actually about having the stories, the painting within the book, because that was the kids' voices that they took not only half an hour, it took them days to actually come up with those paintings, because they were kids who were touched with cancer.
MashaAllah. Tell us about the challenges that you faced in this world, Nasra, and how you overcame them.
Okay, and challenges in terms of my book, or challenges in life?
Book, and then let's go to life. So two things.
Well, I think I have something called the matchstick theory.
The matchstick theory.
Matchstick theory.
Matchstick theory, okay.
Yeah. The matchstick theory is about, you know the matchstick?
Yes.
Okay, the matchstick theory is about, if you would like to light up that matchstick, you need certain assistance. Mm-hmm. So that's my story, basically. I was always shy. It was always, I needed encouragement of others in order for me to light up.
Okay.
You cannot match a stick without a help, without sparkling it with a box. Mm-hmm. So that was really the journey that I did. So at the beginning, you know, I had people didn't believe in me, and people asked why I wanted to write and why did I want to publish the book. So it was not easy to get sponsorship for printing the book, as well as the logistic of for the book to become reality. But in the middle of that, each challenges that happened, for example, not getting sponsorship, not getting the money, it was amazing because people put me different people. For example, my first book, it took me 3 months for wanting to look for sponsorship. And then one day somebody introduced me to Allah yarhamo, Sheikh Saud Bahwan, Allah yarhamo, and only in a half an hour he actually signed the check for the book to be printed, my first book.
MashaAllah,
and
MashaAllah.
It was amazing. We didn't know where to host it. We had a big hotel
wow.
agreeing to host it.
MashaAllah.
It was amazing. I had different people who supported for the book. So I think if you want to do something for society, there's a lot of miracles that happens, which sometimes you don't realize. but subhanallah, God showers you with those miracles to happen.
Yeah.
For example, my second book, Within Myself, The Willpower to Live Beyond Cancer, it was actually with the National Cancer Association, and it was the easiest one because I had the first book as a track record, and we were able to get sponsors, we were able to print it. My third book, it was a different idea. I wanted to write it in English and in Swahili, and I wanted it to give it to send it to Tanzania, and we narrated stories of women in Tanzania who had overcome cancer. And it was a crisis time, financial crisis. No one wanted to sponsor it, and somehow we auctioned the book. I said I'm gonna print the book, and we printed the book, and on the day of the launch we auctioned the book, and we were able to cover the whole expenses of printing of the book.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah,
So
MashaAllah.
it was amazing. But I think everything has a miracle. Subhanallah allows you to give you hardship. But also personally, if you would allow me to share with you, I come from a background that I'm an Omani, but my dad was Comorian origin, who lived all his life in Zanzibar. And at one point of time I didn't have the nationality, so I had to go through learning, understanding myself that I'm mixed, and I have the Omani background as well as the different Comorian, Zanzibarian, as well as learning how to be able to fit in with all the mixed culture. And that was really great. And the amazing thing that happened to me is doing the poetry and doing the books, it allowed me to get my nationality, my Omani nationality.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah. So through your work,
yes,
you're able to get the Omani nationality.
Yes.
But you're not an Omani at first.
I
but
was, yes.
And
I was not
ladies
Omani.
and gentlemen, what a strong message here for many of our expert friends who are here. I mean, you see, this is an example. She had a will and she did it, and that is through her work. Is that right?
Yes.
I mean, that's
Yes.
fantastic. That's
I think also it's a message for children who are half Omani. Also, their mothers are Omani and their fathers are non-Omani. I mean, if you'd like to have your nationality, perhaps you think how you could serve the society,
MashaAllah,
your nation, and then perhaps your service to the society, it would allow you to get the opportunity to become.
Thank you very much. I mean, I always had that in my head of what people who are expatriates and they're doing great things for a society in a country. Definitely, country would like to appreciate to have them be part of it.
Yes.
And you have sort of attested that. That's very, very good. Now, I want to take another word. Man, I find this exciting, and I've got just few minutes to go, and this game is really good. Huh? Let me pick another word. Are you ready?
Okay,
A
I'm
1,
ready.
a 2, a 3. Ready?
Ready?
Life.
Life. So life, is it life L-I-V-E or is it life L-I-F-E?
L-I-F-E. Life.
Okay. The life that you put me through, it's a life that energizes me. The life that you heal me is the life that promotes me. The life that allows me to become alive within a soul. The life that hurts me is the life that makes me. The life that allows me to breathe, to dream, to become a poet is the life that makes me.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah. I'll pick another one last word if you don't mind. Inner.
Inner.
Yeah.
You're the inner soul. Pick me, hurt me, leave me, I would survive. You are the inner hurt. Pick me, leave me, hurt me, I would survive. You are the inner soul. Hurt me, pick me, send me high, send me low, I will survive. You are the inner voice, the inner soul, the inner emotion. Allow me to survive beyond the ordeal. Allow me to become the person that I am. Allow me to become stronger within me, within you, within everyone's eyes, victory is my inner self.
Ati! Mashallah. Give you any word and you do it. Man, this is, you are a queen indeed. I respect that fully. The way you pick the word, the way you play with it, the way you make poem out of it, that's genius. You are a genius. I'll tell you that. You know that? You are a genius. Now, what, who's your role model, by the way? I need to ask you that question.
That's a huge question.
Huge.
I don't have a role model, one person per se, but I'm a person who learns from different people.
Okay.
For example, my mom is really great inspiration in terms of being kind.
She's listening to the interview right now.
No, she's actually traveling.
Oh, mashallah. But she'll listen to it. We've got all this
Hopefully.
uploaded on YouTube. She'll listen to it.
And my raising mother, so I was raised with my stepmom, and she was amazing as a person. And she told me that humanity and kindness is something you carry forward, and you allow yourself to learn from. For example, learning from her, it made me see that you can give with no restriction.
MashaAllah.
And as well, a lot of other people who have given me in terms of the books, in terms of standing beside me, especially the times when you think you are very successful and then you suddenly stop being productive in terms of the poetry, in terms of the writing, and then understanding yourself. So there's great people who touched me. Unfortunately, it would take me a long time to say their names, but I'm thankful to everybody who gave me whether a good experience or a bad experience, because it really allowed me to write more. It allowed me to get inspired.
So you usually, whenever you get upset or you're happy or you're angry, your excitement, your emotion, you just take a piece of paper and you start writing them off, huh?
Sometimes, yes.
Oh, that's nice. I mean, that's really nice. It's good to, some people do that in not necessarily by writing poems per se. They write down all their anger. It makes them feel good. But you're doing it in a poetry style. I mean, with all the rheumatic kind of thing, right?
But you also, poetry allows you to work with others. For example, I'll give you an example. On the day of the launch, a child read the book, and then she passed away. So that was a special moment, because that child basically was allowed to read that poem and feel it. And the book was so precious for me, because every painting represent each child who have gone through cancer.
Okay.
For example, the book cover that I worked with a young photographer by then, and who already passed away now, Ya'rub, and it was amazing that he actually allowed me to use his photograph.
Mashallah.
And also working with other people, graphic designers, people who supported the book, who told me that, Nasra, you can do it. For example, going to Africa. It was never my idea, but there was a person who said, why, Nasra, don't you write a book in Africa, because you're born in Zanzibar, and perhaps something that you could do for women in Tanzania. And they made it possible for me to travel in Tanzania, and actually experience the life there through poetry.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah. What is the next for Nasra? What's next? I mean, what's your future goals? What's your plans now?
My future plan is very simple. I live day by day. I try to I don't try to have a big achievement. I have small achievements. For example, now I have the pen thoughts that I would like to support as much as possible. I have, of course, I'm working for Tawasul, and I would love to see Tawasul expand more, do more things for society and for the entrepreneurs, inshallah. I would love also to raise my children better, spend as much as possible time with them, learn through them because they teach me.
Oh yes.
I would love to get my degree because
inshallah.
now I'm
Your business
studying.
degree?
My business.
Inshallah. You're already into business as well, so inshallah Allah يوفق لك inshallah.
Inshallah. As well as I have a book pending. Now it's been for 3 years, and I would like to, inshallah, hopefully I would get the support to publish it, inshallah.
Inshallah.
So that's great milestones for me.
MashaAllah. Now, before we end up our program today, can you share one point for the audience, all the people that are listening here? I want you to craft one, if you don't mind, maybe just craft one, just something you're saying as a message to people before. Yeah, you can do it live. That's what I like about you, without going through any of your poems. You've done thousands, I know, but now this is the finale. Before we end our program today, share one.
So you are my audience. You are my audience that touch me in every piece of paper. You are my audience because the words are within you, are from me, are around me. You are my audience because you enliven me to write what is poetry is all about, what is essences is all about, what is emotion that comes within you. You are the audience that lives the words, hear the words, touch the words. You are the audience that makes me a poet, life given with no exclusivity, life given with no boundaries, life given with no limit. And you are the audience who are so special. Make me the poet of the day. Thank you.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah. Nasra, thank you very much for joining us today here on Oman Radio FM to share about your great and successful journey into the world of poem writing. You are indefinitely a queen of poems. I would like to take this opportunity to wish you the very best and success in all that you do, inshallah.
Thank you. Thank you for hosting me. Thank you for Oman Radio to have me. It was a pleasure. And thank you for the challenges. Actually, I have not done that for a long time.
Not only you have not done it, you've beat me up as well. MashaAllah, I appreciate that. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we've come for the end of our program for this week. I hope you all had a intriguing time with us. Let us catch up again next week on Tuesday, same time, 5 p.m. for a knowledge session. I'm Tariq Hilal Al-Barwani, along with our studio engineer, DJ Muhammad, wishing you all a happy and a pleasant week. Now, ma'a salama.
Our universe is filled with secrets and mysteries. Many questions to be answered. We find ourselves searching for those answers at the very fabric of science and society. And for the very first time, these worlds collide.
On my mark. Here we go.
This is Knowledge Talk,
Topics that contribute knowledge to the society. News, interviews with guests.
the show that said it all, with your host, Tariq Al-Barwani, Tuesdays at 5 p.m. Face it and talk it through on Knowledge Talk.
Check it out.
Every week here on the Nation Station Radio, Sultan of Oman, 90.4 FM.